Hello, everybody, and welcome to having this bit of spontaneous interview today. And I have my guest, Camilla, the beautiful Camilla, and I really wanted to be able to share some more things around what Camilla has been up to this year from our first meeting in January at the beginning of this year, and it's almost been a year as well. And so welcome, Camilla. I'd love for you to share a little bit about where you're based and what you do as well, please.
Certainly, Melanie. As you say, I can't believe it was only the beginning of this year that we did Accelerate, your speaking course, because I feel like it's been 10 years. I don't know if anyone else out there feels the same, but it really does feel like 10 years. So, and I'm just so grateful and thankful that, you've asked to speak to me today. So a little bit about me. Well, I hail from regional New South Wales in a country town called Dubbo. And I have been an educator here in the arts as a teacher, etc. And I've had my own business called the Creative Voice Studio in many different guises and forms for the last 20 years. So my purpose or passion is to bring out your creative voice within. And so I run vocal singing classes for young all the way up to adults, and public speaking as well. So you can speak. The old elocution of Sister Kevin comes out, and my Trinity College background, I put a little bit of that in as well. So I think the reason that I reached out to you and the course was I was at a stage of my life where I work a lot on my own. Yes, I go into schools and things like that, but I believe that you can always refine what you do, and also to help clarify communication. And that's what I love about your business, Melanie. It's really being yourself and being authentic in your communication. And so when the opportunity came along to join your course, I wasn't really in a great place. I think at the beginning of the year, and things were so uncertain, and we'd just come from not being able to have family to visit because they were in the Northern Beaches. We'd had this sort of lockdown. And I think for a lot of us, communication face-to-face was a bit more difficult, which is what I was finding. And I realized I wasn't actually bringing out my own creative voice. So I took the opportunity to partake in your course. And as I was going along, I was like gathering the tools. And at the time I had no idea about doing Facebook Lives and everything, because my background as an educator and performer has been, you hop on the stage. Yes. So you're there, it's about you are your instrument, you communicate to your audience, you can gauge what the audience is taking from your performance or your talk. So to me, it was like the digital way is really such a huge part of us moving forward. And I could see that it was a wonderful way of connecting. I mean, I've connected with you and all the other wonderful people that were part of we'll see my husband has come in from the fields, which is wonderful. Hello, David.
Hello there. Hi, Dave.
Oh, yes, I know. See, this is the way we roll here in regional
I know.
Wales. So I think for me, it was just getting another sense of community. And I must admit, at the time, it really was a struggle, because I've always had this limiting belief of it has to be perfection. And I think that just comes from being in an industry where I suppose where a lot of the time it is about perfection. You must, the show must go on and it must be fabulous. Whereas I was veering away from that. And with the people that I wanted to work with, it was really about breaking down those limiting beliefs about why they didn't sing, or why they felt they couldn't communicate, whether it was up on a stage or in a, in a business sense, with the colleagues, etc. So as I was going through, I was watching and I was doing my bit, and I must admit, I was it was 60%, because I still didn't have my why, but I knew that your course was so important to me. I just didn't know why at the time. Yeah. So I went through the course, learned all the skills and everything, and I banked it all away, and I was like, okay, great. So we did that. Then we went into full-blown lockdown here in Dubbo, and Dubbo became the poster regional town in New South Wales. We had hundreds and hundreds of COVID cases. Overnight, my business just stopped because I was running the studio, which was singing and speech and drama. I was going out to all the schools, running all their programs like musical theatre, etc. And that was all on a contract and a casual basis. So overnight, bang.
Yeah.
And I just went, oh, okay. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
So I did have a pity party, Melanie, for a little bit of time.
Quite rightly so.
But then once I did that, I sort of went, okay, Camilla, this is an opportunity. You've been saying for years that you really wanted to take the Creative Voice Studios to the next level.
Yeah.
And I actually went back. You'll love this. I went back over my Melanie notes. And I was just sort of going through and I was like, oh, okay, Facebook Live. But I don't really feel like communicating. I just, we're all in this uncertainty and blah, 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 blah. So I just went, just sit, Camilla, just sit, okay? So, don't you love when you do this inner dialogue with yourself and just, you farm your farm, as we say out here, and just, so I was doing that. Then I was watching on Facebook things that were happening, and I've really focused on Facebook to only have as much positivity and uplifting material come through. And that's been wonderful. So I've really sorted out who I want to communicate and connect with.
Yes.
And so what popped up was this International Music on the Porch Day. And I was like, what is this? So on the last Saturday of August, all around the world, there's this movement to go and play music on your porch or your veranda or wherever. And obviously at the time we couldn't have anybody around because it was lockdown. Yeah. But I let the neighbours know that I was going to just do a little something. And I sort of thought to myself, well, let's do something a bit creative here. So I love the song John Cougar Mellencamp's Small Town. And I thought to myself, well, I'm in the small town. And what can I do for people in regional and who are really suffering? So some people bake, some people don't. Yes. I don't bake. So I sing, I perform. Yeah. And I also then decided that I would do like half dressed as I am, and then I'd wear my slippers, my little Ugg boots. And so I did it. And I just, my husband, I said, now Melanie told me all you have to do when you're Facebook Live, and David's going, so this is live? I said, yeah. And he's going, okay, let's give it a go. And I, of course, was very like, yep. So anyway, we did it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've done it. And then all of a sudden it started to get shared and it started to go on different platforms. It ended up being over 12,500 views. Yeah. And I was just like, what was it? And it was what we talked about in your course about resonating with people, finding the relatability and being yourself. Yeah. Because I think my pencil dropped, the wind came up, like all these things happened. And I just kept going. Yeah. And so that's what happened then. And as a result of that, someone said to me, well, are you going to do another one? And I was like, another live? Oh, okay. And so then I did a Father's Day one. And then I started asking for requests because I remember you talking about audience versus community. Yeah. Like I started off with an audience, people going, oh, that was great, et cetera, et cetera. But then when I started to get people talking within themselves in the feed, I realized I was building this community. Yeah. And, I did struggle a bit with, I've always found it hard to sell myself, so to speak. But I thought to myself, this is a wonderful opportunity to, connect people, to do what I love so I can still perform and to build my business. And that's not a bad thing, like taking an opportunity and going with it and see where it goes. So I've been doing them now since August. So it's live at 5, small town singer in her slippers. And another friend came up with that hashtag. So I didn't have to do it all myself. Yes. See, I always had this concept when you're in your own business or whatever, you've got to do everything yourself and the tech has to be right and this has to be right and everything. What I realize now is it's just about doing that much every day. So progress over perfection.
Yes,
That's a very long-winded way.
No, I love it. And I'll definitely be sharing a link to your page so that people can follow and tune in to your Lives at 5 as well to be a part of it. And it's just been amazing to watch your journey of, you know, where you were at the beginning of the year. And as you said, it probably, as much as it was like not really much what you kind of wanted, but it was what you needed at the time to then help you out of this whole year, because things changed so quickly for you after the course as well. But I'm just so proud of everything that you've achieved this year, and, you know, really going into everything that you love to do. And you've developed some courses as well, haven't you? And really embracing the digital world.
Absolutely. And you know what I realized too? People are very forgiving.
Yeah.
And people, I found this year, people are being much more honest about things, because look, we've all been on Zoom. We've all had these, you know, meetings where you're on mute, you're on, you're like, yeah, I've done all that. And you know what? I've survived. They've survived. They've still enjoyed the course, and they're signing up for more. And I'm sort of like, let go of that perfectionism and that everything has to be right. And also reviewing what I've done. So that's what I'm in the process now. I've run 2 You Can Sing 5-week online courses, which is for really a beginner's course for the fundamentals, because singing, like public speaking, is such a it's very vulnerable, and it's also very emotional. And you know, you might have been told that you can't sing, or that project your voice, we can't hear you, all those things. So it's breaking down those barriers that you know all about. So to me, I like to think of myself as that stepping stone. Because if they then go at the end of my course, you know what, I am going to join that choir, or you know what, I'm going to sing. And if my family tell me to be quiet, so be it.
Yeah, exactly. That's so beautiful. But yeah, I'll definitely put the link in so that everybody can follow you and see all of your upcoming things as well. But again, tune in to the Lives at 5s, because Camilla's just brought, and I was just saying from before we came on to the recording, like you look so radiant, you've come so into yourself, like you really embraced being a part of the course at the beginning of the year. But it's also, we spoke about as well, it's not, you don't have to be in the course and be on it to start doing everything. It's about collecting the tools, the resources, being a part of a community, but then being able to do that one thing each day. And really around that, I mean, I would say is like you become that person of transformation. Like you've created transformation this year for yourself that's only going to continue to do that for you as well. And so much of that we've seen. And for, you know, for the fact that you have been a part of the 90-day program, you know, if anybody's thinking about, you know, wanting to be able to find their voice, to be able to know how to build that community, to how to really engage in this digital world as we're going into 2022. It's going to be more of this as well. It's not going away. I will be running a next one in the new year. Like, what would you say to people if they were thinking about, oh, I'd love to be able to find out more about that? What would you tell people to do?
I would just tell them to do it. Just do it. You know, like I think it's all about the little steps. You never know where something's going to lead you. And I think, see, the way that you run the classes, they're very supportive, they're very inclusive, and they really are level at where you're at. And the more courses and things I do, I realize now I'm not running anybody else's race. I've had this thing now, which has really helped me this year to be discerning, because there's so much information and just with everything that's going on. I keep saying to myself, Camilla, just stay in your lane, stay in your lane. And that's what's been really helpful for me, because now it's like by doing those, like by doing the course when I didn't really, oh gosh, you know, can I really afford it, or can I really commit to this time? And now I sort of flip it and I go, how can I not? Because I now know that it gets me where I want to go. So I really encourage people to reach out and just talk to you, because I think if you have that little like, oh, this could be something, you know, reach out to Melanie and just ask her, because look, she's very approachable and she's very authentic and she's very communicative. And I think now more than ever, we can embrace both. We can embrace the face-to-face. We can embrace the digital. And I've realized even the experts don't know all the tech. Yeah. And that actually makes me feel a lot better. I'm not saying you specifically, Melanie, but just generally, I've just realized like we are all in this together.
Yeah.
And it's so lovely to know that, because you provide this supportive environment, which I think for a lot of people is the basis for anything. Like with my You Can Sings, it's really, I know that no one's going to sing when they're feeling so vulnerable. So it's really providing that online, and you can provide that online supportive environment. So look, I cannot strongly recommend the course enough to anybody, and just contact Melanie and ask her about it.
Yeah.
Never assume, because they say it makes an ass out of you and me. And I realize that in a heartbeat too.
I think we all have as well. So definitely, reach out to me if anybody is interested in finding out more about it. That it will be happening in January, but definitely do connect with Camilla as well, so that you can follow what she's doing. Particularly if you're in that space again of just watching someone where they're at, what they're doing with Facebook Lives. It's something that you're really wanting to do. Then head over there and see what Camilla's talking about. That authenticity and being real and raw and relatable as well out of all of it. But thank you so much, Camilla, for your time as well. It's been so lovely to connect with you again and watch your journey all of this year. I'm so excited to see where 2022 takes you as well.
Oh, absolutely, Melanie. And before we finish, I better so that you know,
go for it.
I am at the piano. So there we go. A little bit of a ditty to finish with, because you always said, add your little sprinkle of yourself in.
Yes, exactly. I think those wise words that I say, I'm like, did I say that? So interesting. I love the fact that people really take that on board and they remember it.
Absolutely. But thank you, Melanie. You've really provided, and it's an ongoing community, I want to say as well, even though, I've finished the program, I've connected with you, I've connected with people now, and I keep in touch with you. And I think that's lovely, because now it's somewhere that you can always dip back into or ask questions. Or it's not just like you do the course and then that's it.
Yes, so true. And that's what I love about that, the community that's developed, because you all make new connections, new friends. And I love it. I feel like the proud mama bear after a course, and that you just like, oh, look, I see all them liking each other and commenting on all of their posts and like cheering them on. I absolutely love it. But thank you so much, Camilla, for your time, and have an amazing day.
Oh, thank you, Melanie. You too.